It's all blurry, huh? Yeah, I figured as much. I don't know why my camera does that. Well, even my glasses are blurry. Maybe I should take them off. So, hi, I'm Crystal. Thanks for dropping by my little amateur insignificant channel. You guys are not insignificant to me. You're very, very special to me, each and every one of you. And I want to thank you for coming by. So settle in and maybe grab some coffee or some tea, a nice herbal tea, or some chicory and beetroot juice or something good like that. So I wanted to share a true paranormal story, and it begins when I was 4 years old. I remember we moved to a place in Kansas, a really old town that had a pig slaughtering factory. I'll never forget it because every time they went to go and slaughter the pigs, it would smell like a fleshy, shitty toilet. It was disgusting. Like, eh. And the whole town would smell like that rotten flesh and burnt. It was just nasty. But it was very, very haunted. A very haunting place. And being sensitive at such a young age, it's no surprise that these things occurred. And my mother also being sensitive to the spirit world and things that lie beyond this life and just beyond our frequency. So we moved into this old house where a junkyard was down the road a little ways, like a scrapyard, junkyard kind of place. And this will be a little bit of a factor in this story. So I remember moving in, even at 4 years old. I remember this stuff like it was yesterday. And we would get cold spots in the house and something breathing like behind your neck as you're standing by the sink. And always a feeling like you're being watched. I always felt like I was being watched from, well, day one, which come tomorrow will be 44 years ago. And my mother, oh my gosh, okay, let me back up. I remember one night we were bringing in groceries from the car into the house. And I was bringing out a bag of groceries up to the porch. And we had a pathway that led to our backyard. Like there was a fence in a backyard. And the fence was, the fence had a like opened area where you could see towards the back. And I looked over, I seen like this light flashing. And I swear to you, I saw, you know, the robot from the Family Robinson, the big boxy guy, forget his name. So if you remember his name, let me know down below. It was this boxy looking robot that looked like the Tinkerman from down at the junkyard had put this thing together. I mean, I looked away and I looked again, and there it was. And I got scared, so I went right up inside the house. I was telling my mom, Mom, you got to come see this. This is so weird. There's a robot out there. And she remembers telling me this later in life as we were sharing our experiences. She said, I was adamant that there was a robot that looked like a man had made it. Like it looked like it was remote controlled, a Tinkerman's toy. She told me that could be a possibility. There was a very eccentric man that lived down the street, probably playing with that stuff. I just thought it was really odd that it was like 3 blocks down, you know, in our yard at night at the right time. That was really weird. Then my mother told me she would see like lights in my room at night and hear scuffling noises. And I remember having these dreams about these beings, these dark black and brown beings that were like this egg shaped, and they rolled, and I was like sleeping in this like black like church pews, but they were like boxes in this like stage area, very dark. And I would lay in that box and I would hear them rolling towards me to peek in at me. And I had a name for them. They were my dumpties. And there was a lead dumpty. His name was Peter. Peter the Dumpty. And I also remember times where I would wake up and fall into my bed. Like I would literally fall into my bed. And during this time, we're going to call this the 3-month house because we were only there for 3 months. And the whole time, from day one, my mother started having the same nightmare over and over and over of this couple at our house who killed this guy in like some sort of bad deal gone wrong or a triangle gone wrong. And they stabbed him and wrapped him up in a carpet and put him in the back of a trunk and took off. And it was so intense, my mother would wake up every night either yelling out, and sweating, like major, major intense dream. I forget what the catalyst was for us. Oh, here's what the catalyst was for us getting the hell out of there. Apparently, my mother's boyfriend at the time, she finally opened up to him because he couldn't figure out what the hell is going wrong with us because we were seeing and feeling things and it getting weird. And then, of course, he was very negative. He was very dark. He was a very dark being. But don't you worry. He got what he deserved in the end. Promise you that. So she told him about his dream, and he said, "That's impossible." And she goes, "Why?" And he said, "That was one of my great uncles, and I didn't want to tell you that that's what happened in this house because it was such a great deal. It was so cheap to live there." And he kept that a secret, not knowing that we were sensitive and that one of us was going to pick up on that event. And that was it. My mom, that's it. We packed our crap and we moved into a house where we lived right across the street from the graveyard. But that was the 3-month house. Then we moved to the house next to the graveyard. And I remember my mother and I loved to go walk in the graveyard just to get away and, be alone. And one day, it was close to my birthday, and we were out looking at the stones and wondering about their lives, and there was these crows, a murder of crows, and they were fighting over this like crow that didn't seem quite well. Something was wrong, and the energy just felt like all of a sudden I just felt like panicked. Like, "We have to get out of here right now, Mom." And she goes, "I agree." So she grabbed my hand and we started walking really fast, and then we started to run because we felt like we were being chased out of there. Which is really strange because I'm a raven in the Native American zodiac, and I love them. I love them so much. I connect with the raven energy very well. We are the magic makers and keepers of magical secrets. I know I sound and look not very intelligent or very smart or very eloquent. Most of the time I'm not even wearing makeup or doing my hair. I mean, I painted my nails black. Ooh, that's a big deal for me. But there are things hidden within me that can only come out at the right time. And most of my life I've been underestimated. I have been underestimated by my abusers. I have been underestimated by narcissists because as I've matured, I know that there is a light inside of me that attracts the broken and the hurt and the unhealed and the sick. So, saying that, I know that I'm going to attract broken and people and souls that need healing. And that comes with a great price sometimes. Physical, mental, and spiritual prices that I've paid in my life that nobody knows about. And I have had to be okay with that. And I realize there's a purpose for me. And there's a reason why I've come here to have this experience called Crystal Dawn. And I will share as it's time to share. And I think it's getting pretty close to me to start releasing the scarves out of the magician's hat of the layers of why I'm here and what I'm here to do and how I'm here to serve others and even serve the dark forces that will be naturally attracted to me. And it's in my heart whether to transmute it or let it ruin me. And I have chosen to transmute and let go and detach of the outcome for the individual. It is their choice to step into true soul recovery and healing and to awaken to their truest nature beyond the base, primordial, negative nature of their own egotistical self. I am not a big believer in killing the ego. I'm a big believer in balancing the ego as a tool, as a gift. And if one knows themselves and gets to know themselves and work from that authentic place of a balanced ego, that is when true healing. To deny the ego is, in my personal opinion, it could be a useful tool for a time. But I think balancing things, of course, being a Libra that I am, supposedly. I mean, what are these names? Libra, Scorpio. What does it matter? Isn't it up to you to write your personality out on the book of life? And so yeah, I've had some very haunting events in my life that have made me very sensitive. I have dreams where people will and souls will come and show me how they were going to exit the matrix. And some of them did not leave this matrix by choice. They were forced, and they were gotten rid of in very brutal ways, very violent ways, and they will come and show me because they just wanted someone to be with them. And they chose me. And I'm the only reason I could think of why is because I'm receptive, non-judgmental, and allowing them to process their death. And I've even assisted animals and people to finish their journey out of the matrix just by simply being there with my presence. There's no guidebook for me. I just show up. I'm just asked to show up and be present. And that's what I do. Now, I don't go to sleep going, okay, who's next? You know? It's really random. I don't do this on a conscious choice. It's just it'll just happen kind of event. And so, yeah, it's been a very interesting journey. And one day when I'm no longer here, I at least shared it with somebody, you know? Isn't that pretty? So, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And no matter what happens or what our differences are or any of the drama that happens, you can just scoop that all off the top, like, the cream that comes to the top. And so take all the good that comes to the top and turn that into the feast and toss away the rest. I feel we know we can do that. We've come to a place where, we can do better. And aspects of you are aspects of me. And I'm coming to really understand what that means. So I approach it with a really big hug and an I love you. I love all of you. Not just the aspects that I find savory, but also the shadow aspects. We have to embrace it within each other. And if you can do that, you're winning. You're winning your own race. I promise you, you win the race. All right, you guys. I love you so much. Have a wonderful, spectacular evening. And I'll have some more stories of my paranormal life. There is more. All right, you guys. I love you so much. Go out there and live big. Don't settle for mediocrity. There's so much more. Bye.